College Success Arizona presents Scholar Interviews. The following interview features Lindsey Fernandez.
Okay, so I was born in Mesa, Arizona, and I was raised here in the Valley.
Where did you attend school? Where did you graduate from high school?
So I attended McClintock High School, and I graduated back in 2012. And then from there, I went to Arizona State University. I was there for 3 years, so I graduated last spring. I graduated with a criminal justice degree and a minor in social work.
And what are you doing currently? I know that you've done something after graduating from ASU with that degree.
Yes. So what I have been doing for the past 5 months, I was in the police academy, and I just graduated on Friday.
Well, congratulations. I imagine that's not an easy thing to do, get through the police academy.
Thank you, and yes, that's correct. Personally, I faced many different challenges while I was at the academy.
Tell us about those challenges.
Okay, so being a female, so only being 22, and being a shorter female, I faced challenges such as, one of the first challenges in the academy was not being able to get over the 6-foot wall. Another challenge that I faced in the academy was I had never shot before, so I struggled with firearms. And during the academy, there was times where it was just really, really tough for me, just because I hadn't been used to the environment. It took a lot of mentorship and support from different people to help me realize that if it was something I wanted to do, I had to just push myself and continue and not give up.
And you describe yourself as being a somewhat shorter female, so you must be somewhat aware that it is going to be probably more of a bit of a boys' club going into the academy. Why would you want to do this?
One of the main reasons why I chose to become a police officer was because I was an explorer. So I was a Tempe Police Explorer. I did this program from when I was 18 to 21. Basically, this program was like a mentorship program. I would go into a police station every Tuesday where I would meet with police officers who would teach me, like, basic things. And we would go out and compete, like how to talk on the radio, how to use radio codes, stuff like that. So I did that program for 3 years. And based on my participation in that program, where I had my interest, and I kind of developed the interest of wanting to become involved in law enforcement. In that program, there was other females who were officers, so I think it made it easier and for me to kind of realize that if they did it, I could do it. But I didn't realize how much of a challenge it was going to be until I got to the academy. And
when do you actually get into a uniform, carry a gun, become a sworn officer? When does that happen if it hasn't already?
Okay, so I was sworn in on Friday, which was a big deal. I was sworn in on Friday. Right now, I'm currently in post-academy, still receiving more training, and in a few weeks, I will be out on the street with another officer. So I'll be on the FTO program, and I'll be on this program for about four months. Basically, I'll be with different officers while on the street. They're going to be evaluating my performance, and once they feel I'm ready, I'll be out on my own. So this should happen sometime this fall, where I'll be out on the street on my own without another officer with me.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you just can't wait to get started? What are your emotions at this point?
I'm extremely, extremely excited. Based on the experience I had in the academy, I look back. Now it's only been a few days. But even going back to my department, so Tempe, I just realized that even though I struggled in the academy, I needed that. So going back into the streets, I definitely feel like I'm prepared, just mentally, and I'm excited because even though I was born and raised in Mesa, I spent a lot of my time in Tempe too. So I'm excited to see how the community is going to interact when they realize that I became a police officer, especially those individuals I went to high school with back in 2012. I think for me, it's going to be a really good experience, and I know that I'll be able to help in my own way, being a female speaking Spanish and just being familiar with Tempe.
And what are your goals as a police officer? Do you want to get into some type of maybe homicide detective, or you just want to stay as a street cop?
As of right now, what I think my aspirations that will continue will be I plan to stay on patrol a few years, so at least 4 to 5, so I can get the experience I need. From there, I would love to go into like a detective spot, whether it was like for property or for like a specific crime unit, and then work on that. And then in the long run, like 10 years or 15 years from now, I would love to test like for positions such as the sergeant position.
So then your goal is to be a police officer for if not all, a good portion of your adult life, like as a major career, something it sounds like you have a 10, 20-year plan going on here.
Yes, yes. That's my goal.
Wow. And what do your friends and family think about this? Because, a lot of people, your age, they're just out partying, having a good time. You already have a criminal justice degree. You're a sworn police officer. You're a pretty serious person.
It's been interesting. I think I've been very fortunate because my immediate family, which are my parents and my brothers, have been very supportive. Just very supportive of my decisions. And that showed, while I was in the academy, because they had to help me out. My mom would wake up every morning with me at 4 a.m. to make sure that I had all my stuff together. And for the most part, I'm also very fortunate because I surrounded myself at an early age. So I would say since I was 18, I surrounded myself with other female mentors that are already police officers. So in that sense, I think it's easier for me because my really close friends are very supportive of that decision.
Here in the Valley, there's a police officer being prosecuted for a murder charge related to the shooting of a suspect in some case, and that kind of thing is happening all over the country. So it seems like a time and an era where probably most people don't want to be a police officer for maybe those reasons. Some of the stuff that's out there. Has that concerned you at all? What's going on with the culture of police and criminals in this country?
Personally, I think maybe just because of the support I've had and the different female officers I've spoken to from different departments, that really does not. I mean, it's an issue or it's a situation that's going on not just here but across the country. But in my opinion, I think it's just as long as for me to be a successful officer, as long as I'm professional and have officer safety and take in consideration my role in the community and the community's and respect the community, I don't think that is personally for me something I'm very concerned about.
And having the criminal justice degree, I know probably a good number of police officers go right from high school or something to the academy, become a cop. Having that degree, does that help you advance through the ranks?
It will in the future. It helps in the sense of when you go to test, they're going to see that you have a bachelor's degree. And your bachelor's degree doesn't, in the police department, necessarily doesn't have to be in criminal justice, but it definitely helps when you're getting ready to start promoting. I'm also in an interesting situation thanks to the scholarships I received. I was able to, while I was in undergrad, I also started my master's program. So I'm halfway through that. It's Master's of Arts in Criminal Justice as well. And with that, I'm sure that's going to be beneficial for me when I later in the future when I decide to want to promote into something else. So
you're basically going to be a rookie cop, or you are a rookie cop in Tempe with a bachelor's degree who's half done her master's.
Correct.
And you're 22.
That was thanks to, yes.
Man, you got a lot done young. I guess going back to high school, when did you first learn of College Success Arizona?
I was in the ACE program. So this program was through Mesa Community College. It was through Angela Chavez, which we met at Mesa Community College every Saturday for 2 years. And it was kind of a smaller scholarship that I did on the side for Saturdays while I was in high school. It was when I was a senior in high school that Angela Chavez explained to us that we had the opportunity to apply for the Arizona College Scholarship. That's when I became very interested, based on realizing that the scholarship was not just going to give you money, but it was going to provide a mentorship attached to it. It was back in 2012, and I want to say early spring before the applications were due, is that I knew of the program, I applied, and I was selected to receive the scholarship. Was
the mentoring of a big value in the sense that it sort of helped guide you through your college experience?
Yes. For example, my first mentor was Delmira. She's no longer with the scholarship program, but I remember one of the first things I struggled with while I was at ASU. I was living there, downtown, and I just struggled. The culture was different for me. And I remember Delmira was like, Lindsey, sometimes you just have to be thick-skinned and adjust to the environment. So that was one of my first issues I faced when I was in college at downtown, being away from home and just being my first year in college. And then another example was Kayla. So this is my junior year, getting ready to graduate. I was telling Kayla how I was looking into going into a police academy and I was going to finish my degree. And she was actually the one that told me about a program where I could be an undergrad and start my my graduate degree, which was my master's degree, that I had no idea I could be doing for the same tuition price. So those are two examples that, to me, show that having those mentors there helped me a lot through ASU, because I know sometimes it wasn't that I struggled so much academically, but I just struggled the transition from high school to college, and I know that they were always very supportive. They met with me a few times during the semester, which helped out a lot.
Can you tell us again when you will complete your master's degree, where you're getting it, and what it's in?
Okay, so my master's degree is it's a Master's of Arts. It's in criminal justice. It's through ASU. It's all online. Right now I have 15 credits, and it's a 33-credit program. It's going to take a few years just because I'm going to be taking one class at a time because I'll be working. But I should be getting it within these next 2 years, finishing that Master's of Arts program.
Gotcha. And College Success Arizona doesn't give you a scholarship for that, do they?
Correct. But College Success helped me basically through everything that in regards to my undergrad degree.
Right. The 4-year undergrad bachelor's degree, they gave you about $6,000 a year per year over the 4 years, so $24,000 total?
Correct.
Has that helped you avoid or limit student debt?
Yes, most definitely. I'm also in a fortunate situation that I graduated college, and I have, thanks to College Success and other smaller scholarships that I got, and also with financial aid, I actually at this time don't have any student loans. I mean, I'm working on my master's degree, but that's something I'm paying off each semester. So I'm in a situation where I currently don't have any student loans or any overdue bills in regards to school.
Yeah, because with a master's degree in criminal justice, I mean, in some respects, if you just looked at it compared to like where you could be, being a police officer, you could go and do a lot of other things that would probably pay more money. So you have a lot of options with that education, don't you?
Correct. And that's something that was always said to me during the academy, actually. Somebody pointed that out to me, that that maybe the job, to consider that, if you have more education, to consider that maybe the job is not something for you. But it's, again, one of those things that it came really from the bottom of my heart, something that I really wanted to do. And I looked past that, looked past how much the job pays, looked past like the different controversies that are surrounding the job at this moment. So I just looked past that when I decided that I wanted to become a police officer in Tempe.
What is the starting salary for a police officer? Just curious.
The starting right now, every department is different. Every department is different, but right now I think for Tempe it's approximately $45,000, approximately.
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, that's not bad to start.
Not at all. Not at all. It's a very. I think I'm in a very good position, especially with the department too, just because they have been very supportive.
Gotcha. And when you look back over the years, what are the biggest challenges throughout your life that you've overcome?
There's been many. I think one of the first things being coming from a Hispanic background. It's not that it was expected for me, but it wasn't very common for me to have attended college. So I know a lot of my family members, or a lot of the different girls in my family, have already started their family, had kids, and me choosing a different path was it was difficult. It was difficult in the sense that nobody else really understood me because I was the first one out of my family to attend college. Another struggle that I faced, especially when I started realizing that I wanted to become a police officer. So this was like when I was 16. So towards the end of my high school years, I know everybody would say, "Oh, you're too short, you're too small, you're a female, you're too nice, you can't do it." So I think I've always faced the challenges of wanting to do something in life, but maybe not just because of my background and everything and my family values. A lot of people underestimating that I could do it. So I had to overcome any challenges such as that. Also being raised like in a very humble background and being very quiet and submissive, I had to learn, especially in the job that I'm doing now, that my personality and just my person has to be different than the way I was raised.
To young people coming up, high school students, middle school students considering their own college experience and path, what advice do you offer them?
The advice I would give is stay focused. I mean, life is always going to happen, especially when you're young, but stay focused, and especially through the hard times at the end, it's worth it. There's many times when you're a college student where things are overwhelming. Some things seem impossible at the time, but it's worth it at the end. So just stay focused and keep pushing forward.
Thank you, Lindsey, for the interview and for working so hard to make a difference in our community.